Have you ever wondered how the rise of the Roman Empire influenced the spread and evolution of Christianity? Our story begins with the dawn of an empire, a sprawling entity that stretched from the sun-drenched sands of Africa to the rain-swept shores of Britain. The Roman Empire, a colossal force that encompassed countless cultures and civilizations, held a vast influence over the known world. In these early days, the Romans embraced a polytheistic religion, honoring a pantheon of deities, each presiding over different aspects of life and nature. Their gods and goddesses, from Jupiter, the king of gods, to Mars, the god of war, were deeply woven into the fabric of Roman society. Temples dedicated to these deities dotted the landscape, and their stories were ingrained in the minds of the citizens. Yet, within this empire that celebrated many gods, there sparked a shift towards a new faith, one that worshipped a single deity. The Romans were known for their polytheistic beliefs, but how did they come to adopt Christianity, a monotheistic religion? In a world dominated by the Roman Empire, a new faith emerged: Christianity. This faith, born in the distant corners of the empire, was unlike anything the Romans had ever experienced. It was a faith that preached love, humility, and equality, principles that were radical in a society that thrived on conquest, power, and hierarchy. Christianity was not welcomed with open arms. Instead, it was seen as a threat, a challenge to the traditional Roman way of life. The followers of this new faith were marginalized, ostracized, and often persecuted. They were forced to practice their religion in secret, in the shadows, hidden away from the prying eyes of the Roman authorities. The traditional Roman religion was a pantheon of gods and goddesses, each responsible for different aspects of life. It was a religion of public rituals and offerings, deeply intertwined with the state and the social order. Christianity, on the other hand, was a monotheistic faith. It was intensely personal and transcendent, focusing on the individual's relationship with a single, all-powerful God. The teachings of Christianity were revolutionary. They advocated for a world where the last would be first and the first would be last. They preached about a kingdom not of this world, where the meek and the humble would inherit the earth. This was a stark contrast to the Roman ethos of power, conquest, and social hierarchy. Despite the persecution, or perhaps because of it, Christianity continued to grow. Its message resonated with the downtrodden, the oppressed, and those seeking something more than the material world offered. It spread from the margins to the mainstream, from the persecuted to the powerful. Christianity, once persecuted and underground, was about to become the dominant religion in the Roman Empire. But at what cost? The turning point came in the 4th century with a single man, Constantine. Now, Constantine is a name that resonates through the annals of history. He wasn't just any Roman emperor, he was the first to profess Christianity. But what led to this seismic shift? The tale is wrapped in a blend of politics, faith, and a dash of mystical visions. Legend has it that before a decisive battle, Constantine saw a vision of a cross in the sky with the words "In hoc signo vinces," translating to "By this sign you will conquer." Whether divine intervention or a brilliant political strategy, Constantine's victory in the battle solidified his faith in Christianity. Yet his conversion wasn't a sudden leap into fanaticism. It was a gradual process, culminating in his baptism on his deathbed. But the impact of his conversion was immediate and far-reaching. He issued the Edict of Milan in 313 AD, which ended the persecution of Christians and instated religious tolerance throughout the empire. The Edict of Milan was more than just a decree, it was a game changer. It gave Christians the freedom to worship openly, to build churches, and to rise in societal ranks. Christianity was no longer a secret sect, but a recognized religion within the empire's borders. However, Constantine's conversion also marked a turning point for Christianity itself. As the religion gained political power, it began to lose some of its spiritual purity. The lines between state and church started to blur, leading to the fusion of political ambition with religious authority. This fusion would later lay the groundwork for the corruption of Christianity within the Roman Empire. Constantine's conversion was a double-edged sword. It protected Christians from persecution, but it also opened the door to political influence and manipulation. With Constantine's conversion, Christianity was on its way to becoming the state religion, but would it remain unaltered? As Christianity spread across the empire, the powerful began to mold it to their liking. An intriguing shift, isn't it? Now let's unravel how the Roman Empire started to corrupt the Christian faith. One of the first significant steps was the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. This momentous gathering was convened by Emperor Constantine himself. It was here that Christian doctrine began to take on a more standardized form, a form that was heavily influenced by the empire's political needs. The council set a dangerous precedent, marking the first time that the state exercised control over religious doctrine. Following the Council of Nicaea, the empire moved to establish a hierarchy within the church. An elite group of bishops rose to power, wielding influence not just over spiritual matters but over political ones as well. Their elevated status within the empire was a far cry from the humble origins of the Christian faith. This was a clear deviation from the egalitarian principles that the religion was founded upon. The church was no longer a body of equals. It was now a power structure mirroring the empire itself. And then came the blending of pagan and Christian beliefs. The Romans, in their bid to make Christianity more palatable to the masses, began to incorporate pagan festivals and rituals into Christian practice. The winter solstice became Christmas. The spring equinox was transformed into Easter. The lines between the old and the new, the pagan and the Christian, were blurred. This blending was not just a cultural phenomenon, it was a strategic move. By merging Christian and pagan practices, the empire made the new religion more acceptable to its subjects, ensuring its spread and solidifying its own power. Christianity, once a faith of the oppressed, was now a tool of the powerful. The Roman Empire had successfully corrupted the religion, turning it into a vehicle for its own agenda. And this, my friends, marked the beginning of a new era in the history of Christianity. The Roman Empire fell, but its version of Christianity endured. The corruption of the faith didn't simply vanish with the collapse of the empire. Instead, it became deeply embedded in the very fabric of the religion, shaping it in ways that are still evident today. This corruption gave birth to two major branches of Christianity, the Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church. Both these institutions were formed in the wake of the empire's decline, their doctrines and practices heavily influenced by the Romanized version of Christianity. The Roman Catholic Church, headquartered in Vatican City, became the bastion of Western Christianity. It adopted the hierarchical structure of the Roman Empire with the Pope at its helm, mirroring the role of the emperor. The Church's teachings were also influenced by Roman philosophy and culture, with a strong emphasis on law, order, and authority. On the other hand, the Eastern Orthodox Church, with its center in Constantinople, now Istanbul, embodied the spirit of the Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantium. It absorbed elements of Greek philosophy and culture with a greater focus on mysticism and spirituality. Despite the differences, both these churches bore the indelible mark of Rome's influence. But the corruption didn't stop there. It seeped into the very scriptures of Christianity. The Bible, as we know it today, was compiled by the Roman Church. Many books were excluded and others were edited or translated in ways that served the interests of the empire. The message of peace and love, which was at the heart of Jesus' teachings, was often overshadowed by doctrines of authority and obedience. The Roman Empire may have crumbled, but its influence on Christianity is still felt today. The churches, the scriptures, the doctrines all bear the fingerprints of Rome. The faith that was once a beacon of hope and love for the oppressed was twisted by the empire for its own ends. Even today, the echoes of that corruption reverberate through the halls of churches and in the pages of the Bible, a haunting reminder of a past that continues to shape the present. So, how did the Roman Empire corrupt Christianity? Well, we've journeyed through the rise of the Roman Empire, a beacon of might and influence that undeniably shaped the world. In this backdrop, a new faith emerged: Christianity. It was a religion that promised hope and salvation, gaining traction among the masses. Then we watched as Constantine, the Roman emperor, converted to Christianity. His conversion, while initially promising, became a turning point. It was here that the seeds of corruption were sown. The faith, once a beacon of hope, became a tool for power. The empire manipulated its tenets, warping its teachings to serve the needs of those in power. This corruption had lasting effects, altering the course of the religion forever. The question to us is this: how do we strip the church of this influence and restore the Church of Jesus? More on this to come. We are constantly making new content to help you on your walk of faith. Please like and subscribe to make sure you stay up to date with the latest content.